Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the MJ Innocent podcast. My name is Moonwalker Tanya, and I'm your host. Alright, so this will be part 1 of the MJ community. In part 1, we will discuss the positive side of the community. The negative side of the community will be in part 2. Okay, so first, if anyone watching this video is new to the community, first of all, I want to welcome you. You know, I've had a wonderful experience with the community. I've met so many wonderful people, and we've learned things from each other, you know, and I love watching people who either dress up as Michael or try to dance like him. You know, it's been a great experience, and I love hearing about, like, if people saw Michael either in person or they saw him in concert, you know, it's just a great experience. It really is. I've been in the community for 5 years. I've been a fan for 30 years. And yeah, I've made a lot of great friends in the community. Matt's FTR, Joey from Moonwalking Kingdom, Julian, Johnny, Jake, Exits Ren, Brantley, Shatara, let's see, there's also Christy, Kathy, Nellum. Like, there's just so many people, seriously. Like, it's been a really amazing experience. That a lot actually happened in the community that I wasn't even expecting. You know, it's like when I started my podcast almost 3 years ago, I did not expect to be offered a job in Vegas to be a professional podcaster. And yeah, unfortunately, I had to turn the job down because eventually I would have to move to Vegas, and I did not want to do that. But the fact that I was offered that amazing opportunity, like that's something that I will never forget. Okay, so I think what I'll do first is I will start with how I found out about the community and what inspired me to join it. Okay, so back in 2019, I was listening to Michael's music while I was multitasking around the house, and YouTube went on to the next video when the song ended, and that's when I came across the first podcast that I ever watched that was MJ related. At first, it was known as the Blacklight Podcast with Thon Lexi, and then he renamed it as Michael Jackson Defense with Thon Lexi. And let me tell you something, ladies. If you haven't seen this channel before, Thon Lexi is fabulous. Oh my gosh. Wow. Yeah. And I want to say from like 2019 to 2021, he was one of the biggest defenders of Michael Jackson. And there was also the Next Generation podcast. And of course, I have to give credit to the original defender, Matt's FTR. He would also defend Michael. I think, if I remember correctly, I think he started defending Michael shortly after the 05 trial. Yeah, and Matt's videos are still on his playlist. I don't know if every single video is on his playlist, because he mentioned that his channel has been removed a few times just because, well, you know, apparently YouTube doesn't like facts. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, these people inspired me, and of course we all know what was happening back in 2019, and that's when I knew I had to join the community and help defend Michael, since he isn't here to defend himself. And yeah, that's when I started to meet people, and I learned some things about the community. You know, we're very protective of each other. We usually get along pretty well. There have been a few hiccups in the road, but you know, they either work out or they just don't, you know. And then I realized that as the community, we are Michael's extended family. And yeah, With every family, sometimes there might be issues, but like I said, you either work it out or you don't. Unfortunately, Thon Lexi, he hasn't made a video since like 2021, I believe. And I think the reason why was because, if I remember correctly, he had two copyright strikes on his channel. And if you end up with 3 strikes, your channel is terminated and everything is gone. And from what I've heard, I think the strikes do go away after a certain amount of time. And I really thought that when this... I really thought he was going to come back, considering what's going to happen later this year. But I don't want to say it in this part because this is... I want this to be a positive video. But yeah... You know, Thon Lexi was my inspiration to do this channel. And then my friend Brantley, who I mentioned earlier, you know, he encouraged me to start my own channel, you know, and I had concerns. I was like, can I really do it? I mean, I'm good at defending Michael, but I wasn't sure if I could be a podcaster. And Brantley said, you can do it. And I'm really glad I listened to you, Brantley. And I can't thank you enough. And of course, if you've seen my channel since the beginning, you know about my beautiful MJ canvases. My friend Shatara gave them to me as birthday gifts. And they were made by an MJ fan named Jay, who lives in London. Yeah, so it was a very generous thing that Shatara did for me. And just so everyone knows, I did not ask her to do that for me. She did it out of the goodness of her heart. And also, to prove how much I care about Shatara, you know, she told me about what happened to her original MJ collection. It was destroyed by someone who was in her life previously, and I felt so bad for her. So when she gave me my first 3 canvases for one of my birthdays, I replaced all of her Michael Jackson albums that were destroyed, except I think it was for Off the Wall. I think that one was a little too expensive for me to afford at the time. But yeah. And I also love connecting with fans who love to go to Forest Lawn either on June 25th or on August 29th. And I love seeing the flowers and all the banners that people make, or the posters. Like, it's just amazing how fans do tributes to Michael to show how much he truly was loved and missed. And that's one of the things that I really love about this community. Because it is important for us to show how much Michael means to us. And the past almost 15 years without him have been very difficult. But we'll never give up on Michael. It is okay to like other artists, obviously. But yeah, Michael is my favorite artist. And Freddie Mercury from Queen is my second favorite. And did you know that Michael and Freddie Mercury were friends? I am planning on doing a video about that. That was amazing. I was so excited when I found out about that. And also, just to be clear, you don't have to join the MJ community in order to be an MJ fan. It is perfectly fine. And if you're a fan of Michael's when it comes to the music, but you don't really know, like, the man behind the music, you know, that's okay too. You know, I mean, you can research Michael if you want. And if you're not ready to look into it, not necessarily a bad thing either, then, you know, just enjoy the music. There's nothing wrong with that. Because I actually knew Michael, like, as the king of pop, and I knew him by his music throughout most of my time as a fan until 2013, and that's when I decided to study the man behind the music. So, yeah. So tell me in the comments if you are in the MJ community and how long you've been in the community. And yeah. And I just wanted to see if there was anything that I possibly might have forgotten to mention. I think I've mentioned everything that I wanted to say. Obviously, the community does need work, but I will discuss that in part 2. But yeah, to everyone, you know, who makes this community great, you know, I can only say thank you so much. And to my subscribers, you know, I appreciate the support. I love seeing the great comments and things like that. I love how we are trying to connect in so many different ways, learning things from each other. And yeah, I think it's been a wonderful experience. I wish I could see Michael. I wish I had the opportunity to see Michael in concert. Unfortunately, I never had that opportunity. But, you know, that's why I'm so thankful for this footage. Because it is better than nothing. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in part 2.